Well, hello there my fine gardening friends. How the devil are you? Well, it is, what shall I say it is? It is either, depending on where you are, late winter or a very early spring day. It's in fact March the 17th or 18th, I think. So I'm the optimistic gardener, so I'm going to call it an early spring day. And it was a beautiful early spring day earlier on in the day. It was lovely blue skies, but as it wont in early spring here in Nova Scotia, the clouds have come over and I think it's even starting to rain now. So that's a bit of a nightmare. Good job I've got a greenhouse, isn't it? But an early spring day, and yesterday was, what was it? It was Global Recycling Day or World Recycling Day, whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to talk a bit about that today. I haven't done much else this week because, of course, last week I was in London, in the old smoke, as we say, back in the UK. A lightning trip for my boy's 13th birthday present. We went to various different places, whether it be the British Museum on Monday, fantastic. Harry Potter Museum, or I say museum, the Harry Potter Studios up in Leavesden. That was absolutely fantastic. You know, as you can see, my boy flying on a broomstick, and I even learnt the spell to pick up a broomstick, as you can see there. So that was really good. What else can I bore you with? Only Fools and Horses, a fantastic British sitcom. Went to the musical in the West End theatres. That was absolutely brilliant. My face was aching afterwards. I was laughing so much. We went to Natural History Museum, always blinding there. Just too much to see, really. The London Eye, absolute waste of money, I thought that was. So I don't recommend that. What else? Sky Garden, the Sky Garden in East London. On top of that, I can't remember the funny shaped building, but as you can see, the Sky Garden there is really nice, and the restaurant, the brasserie at the top there, was well worth the money. Beautiful view right down to the Tower of London and across to Canary Wharf. So that's a highly recommended attraction, I think. Usual routine of walking all around the parks. The daffodils are out in the parks. That was beautiful. And Covent Garden's always nice. What else did we do? And just walking down the back streets of London, all the history sort of dripping out of every pore and every brick, etc. That was fantastic. So, you know, a whirlwind 4.5 days, but means I wasn't doing any gardening. So I'm trying to catch up today, and I'm sowing seeds of tomatoes and more chilies, and I'm going to start sowing seeds of lettuce, etc. in my main beds. As you can see there, I've got them covered with black cloth there now, so when the sun comes down, it will warm them up that little bit more and start to warm the soil up, hopefully. So that's what I'm doing. And like I said, yesterday was World Recycling Day. So I thought I'd do a little bit of a chat, as I do normally around this time, on how you can recycle. And you know, I love recycling, and I don't do it just because you know, because it's the thing to do and sustainability and all that sort of rubbish. I do it because I think it's well worth it, and it saves me money. You know, this greenhouse is mostly recycled pallets, as you can see. Well, on the outside is all pallets, the base, the actual raised beds here and across there are all pallets. I've used pallet wood to line the sides of the greenhouse. Still more to do. All the shelves up there and across the sides there, they're all pallets. And my original greenhouse, as you can see down the bottom there, that was all pallets as well. And I love them. I love my greenhouses. What else have I been using? Oh, and pallets as well. So pallets, again, my favourite thing is these seed boxes that I've made from pallet wood, and there's a video up there for you guys who are interested in how to make these. It's really easy, you know, just hardwood as well. Most pallets are. So these last years and years, and I think they look good as well. That sort of old oldie weldy look, but they are very practical and very useful. So, and I usually just put a bit of newspaper in there at the bottom, and I've got, you know, various sizes here and a bigger one there, all sorts of different sized ones. So really good use recycling the pallets. Pallets are a fantastic resource. I've got them all over, from in my kitchen to in my bathroom, etc. But you know, really useful out here in the garden. But make sure you use heat treated ones rather than the chemically treated ones, especially if you're going to sort of be growing food of any sort in those pallets. And there's a video up there now for those of you who want to know how to easily take a pallet apart, and it really isn't that difficult with no special tools. So that's my pallets, use of pallets, all, you know, all around the bazaars. So then we've got toilet rolls. Before we get to toilet rolls, let's just go back to why, another reason why we're recycling, especially plastic, which we'll get onto plastic in a minute. Massive like islands of plastic in the sea now, and you know, I can't even remember how many parts per million or millions parts of plastic, little microplastic, is in the sea now, which gets into fish, which we end up eating. You know, it's just ridiculous. So that's that. But toilet rolls, I like to use toilet rolls for things like sowing pea seeds and bean seeds, because they're legumes and they like a bit of a long root run. So when I'm sowing the seeds, I do a load of these, and I sort of cut the bottoms so that I turn them in, and then I fill them up, and then I fill a little one of these seed trays with a load of the toilet roll so they all stand up nicely, and there we go, nice and easy. And then when they're ready to plant, I just plant them straight into the ground. So toilet rolls are a great resource. And of course, one of my other favourites, the old chicken pots, partial to one of them roasted chickens in the local shop. But you know, do some holes in the bottom of these, and the lid acts as a mini greenhouse, which is fantastic. And the other good thing about using them of this size is I don't sow too many seeds, do I? If I do it this way, that, you know, you end up, and you've got a nice big seed tray, you end up sowing about 50 lettuces, and you know, by the time May comes, you're just like lettuce for breakfast, lettuce for dinner. So using something this size, you end up not sowing too many seeds. So that's another good idea, as well as obviously the reuse of the plastic and the little greenhouse. Fantastic. And other, where were my other ones? Other plastic pots. These are a great size for planting your tomatoes. So once your tomatoes get to a certain size, before they get planted out, an absolutely fantastic size for them to be growing on in before you plant them. You know, you could just use it as a general nails or screws or something, but good one for planting your tomatoes in. What else we got? Water bottles. So if you are, you know, like me, I've got a bit of arsenic in I'm on a well. The old reused water bottles, and I know you can recycle them back, but a good way of recycling them in you know, internally, is I use these as mini greenhouses outside, or cloches. Put them over some plants that I'm you know, I want to look after in the early springtime. Nice little greenhouse there. What else have we got? What else have we got? And the other sort of yogurt pot routine is using them for little plant identifiers. There we go. And I can just reuse these every single year. So lots of different ways we can recycle. The windows here, all these windows, the plastic, the plexiglass is from Sarah's boss, so from my wife's boss, who kindly donated me this plexiglass. So that's all around the greenhouse. This front window is from a neighbour, Pat, who they were replacing their glass around their deck. So they kindly donated that to me. So that's another good thing as well, see. Brings you together with your neighbours, swapping stuff, etc. And it saves you loads of money. So all of this sort of cheap material that I've used can now also help me make some beautiful, delicious fruit and veg. So there we go. There is my little bit about for Global Recycling Day. Just do it. You know, it's good fun as well, finding different ways to use it, and you can make some nice stuff and some handy stuff. So there we go. I'm going to get on with my seed sowing now, and the last thing to say is, as usual, job's a good one.